Hello and welcome to this video where today I'm going to be showing you this beautiful guitar by Italian guitar maker Roberto Pozzi. Roberto is a luthier that I met at this year's Roma Expo Guitars festival, and we had a great talk, we had a great chat about things, all things guitar related, and I played 3 of his guitars. There were 2 spruce tops and then there was this beautiful cedar top as well. And I mean, they were all fantastic, but this guitar that I've got here with me today, his special edition model for the festival, this was something else, and I just thought that is utterly sublime. I can't go home without it, and that is why it's available here today through Classical Guitar Academy. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about the construction of the guitar, because there's something different about this instrument that Roberto has done compared to his previous guitars, and I'll talk through exactly what that is. We're also going to talk a little bit about the woods and things and what he's done to create this very special instrument. The other thing that I would like to do is just to run through some very quick sounds, so playing the treble strings, playing the bass strings, and in the moment just talk through what I'm hearing as we do that. So you get a very genuine, very off-the-cuff kind of insight into what I can hear on the guitar. Beyond that, what I'll do later on is I'll talk a little bit about suitability of this instrument, because if you've been around concert guitars for any length of time, you'll know that they're not all built the same. They don't all sound the same. They're not supposed to. And you find that certain players are more drawn towards one sound or another. Some players have particular demands when it comes to projection or to lack of projection if they want a more intimate guitar. Then we need to know what the guitar is capable of to make sure that we are suitable matches. So I'll talk a little bit about that later on, and I'll come back to it, because there is something again about this instrument that it does, I think, better than pretty much any other concert guitar I think I've ever played. And it's a really interesting point, and it will make the difference for a particular group of people, a particular group of players. So do stick around for that little insight later. So let's talk a little bit about the construction of the guitar. So Roberto Pozzi usually will build a guitar with 7 braces on the fronts. With his special edition model, he's actually changed that a little bit, and he's gone with 5 braces instead, along with the boucher bar that runs underneath the bridge over here. Now this makes a really key difference to the sound, because having tried the 2 of the guitars side by side in Rome a couple of months ago, you could tell that with this guitar it's a little bit more open straight away, despite being brand new. It's already more expressive, it's already more willing to sing and to energize the soundboard. It's really desperate to make music, whereas the other guitar, you could tell, very good quality, very good character, but it needed some time to open up to really fulfill that potential. Now that's going to happen with both of these guitars. They're both going to improve, but you're already starting from a little bit of a higher level with the 5-braced version. And that's one of the things I think makes this really special, because a year down the road or 2 years down the road, this is going to sound even better than it does already. So not only are you buying this fantastic instrument as it is right now, you're also buying the potential for this to be better in the future, and it's going to mature and get greater and greater and greater. And that is one of the characteristics that makes this guitar so special. As you can see here, we've got a lovely little bit of spruce, very straight grain, very even grain as well, all the way across. And if you just tilt it in the light, you can see those medullary rays catch that ray fleck effect. It's really nice, and it just tells you you've got something very special in your hands. Onto the back and the sides, and arguably my favourite feature of this entire guitar. I mean, if you can see that, that's utterly stunning. It's ridiculous. In fact, if you don't like that, we just can't be friends. It's as simple as that. And then back onto the front then, we've got the gorgeous rosette, which is very decorative in a classic style in lovely natural woods, which is one of my favourite things. I'm not a big fan of overly dyed and treated pieces of wood, so this is my cup of tea. Around the edge of the rosette, you can also see the same pattern picked up in the purfling, which runs all around the edge, and again on the tie block there on the bridge. Speaking of the bridge, there is something about this that I need to tell you about. You're probably looking at this thinking, well, hang on a second. If that's such a lovely piece of wood on the back and the sides, why would you not use it on the front? And why would you not use it on the bridge? There's a really good reason for this. Ebony is around about 30% heavier than Indian rosewood. So this Indian rosewood bridge that you've got is a little bit lighter, and it's going to allow that soundboard to move. And at the end of the day, this is a musical instrument, so we want it to be musical, it's got to sound good. And if you're just putting things on a guitar for aesthetic benefit, then I think we've really missed the point. So what Roberto's done here is really clever. He said, here's your decoration, here's your excessive beauty, and then on the front, I'm going to do the things that really matter to make this a stunning musical instrument. So onto the headstock next. As you can see there, very sharp lines, really nice looking headstock, absolutely superb. And on the face of the headstock, we've got the wild ebony, the exotic ebony again, which is picked up there because it doesn't affect the tone when it's up there. It just looks pretty, and we like that. Alessi tuners. What else would you expect from an Italian luthier than beautiful Italian tuners? Okay, let's have a look at the reverse of the guitar once more, but this time we're looking at the neck. So, as you can see there, very, very lovely piece of maple. And in fact, it's a lovely piece of torrefied maple. And if you're not familiar with what that really means, I should talk our way through this. So, torrefication is the process of kind of baking and warming a piece of wood in order to remove the moisture. And it has this sort of side effect of making the wood a little bit stiffer as well. Now, I think that is a really, really clever thing to do for the neck of the guitar, because if you're anything like me, when you play your guitar, you want the weight to be central to you. Okay, so everything's going to stay central. What you really don't want is this weighty thing over here that's kind of dragging you down, because if we have that, we're then battling to keep pulling the neck of the guitar up, or we're sort of pushing the arm down here to make this stay in position. And all of these things take away from this sense of relaxation. So if you have a guitar with a lighter neck, you can sit with it on your knee like this, and it's an effortless experience. That is really, really clever. It also ties in very nicely with something else I want to talk about later on regards ease of playability, which we definitely will come back to. I mentioned that the neck was stiffer as well, and this is a really important point, because the last thing you want in a neck is for it to bend and warp and change over time. What you really want is for it to be straight as an arrow and just be really, really consistent, and that's what you're going to get with this torrefication process. The fact that it looks like that is the bonus. It's not the main primary reason for wanting to do this. Okay, before we move on, we should talk a little bit about the neck profile. So what we're talking about here is the shape of the neck over here, and also up in the 9th position, 12th position as well. I would describe this as a gentle D, okay? And by that I mean you've got this tapering here quite heavily off the edges, which would suggest it's kind of like a C shape, but then you get to the center, and rather than being totally semicircle, we start to flatten off a little bit, never totally flat, but just flatten off a little bit, and then back around again to the other edge. And that kind of shape, I think, is my favorite profile, because it's very, very comfortable in the hands. It's not ultra sleek or ultra modern, which is not something that I particularly like, but it's just that very well judged gentle D profile. Okay, so on to the part of the review that you've been waiting for, which is the sound. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just play through the treble strings first of all, and talk my way through what's happening with those. Same with the bass strings, and just generally talk about what's happening in real time, so you get a sort of off-the-cuff, genuine response to what I feel this guitar is capable of. And then at the end of that, I shall play some proper pieces for you, so you can just appreciate the music without any talking whatsoever. Okay, so very, very beautiful, very song-like trebles. There's plenty of weight behind, certainly behind the G string. You get this real oomph of power that comes from there. treble strings, sorry, onto the B string and the E string. There's a nice transition. What's starting to happen is you're getting a bit more of the brighter sounds coming through, the clearer sounds coming through. And there's almost like a glassier, more polished kind of articulation sound attacked to the note as you go onto the E string. So that, I think, is the general character of the strings, which is this immense beauty, this immense kind of roundness to the tone. And it always sounds beautiful. It's never sounding kind of too dry or you know, like I'm making a bad sound with the guitar. Mistakes excluded, of course. But even they sound quite nice on this guitar. The other thing that's really happening here, if you listen carefully to the sound of the longer notes, you can hear there's this extra kind of choir of sympathetic resonance that sort of takes form, and it just is so powerful behind that fundamental note. It kind of comes in a wave after you've played. Particularly if I leave my thumb off the treble strings here. There's a lot more that comes in there, of course, because I'm not damping. So all of this can be controlled. But it's definitely there, and it's probably there more strongly than a lot of other concert guitars that I've played. So I'd say this is probably one of the strengths of this particular instrument. You can just enjoy every note. I mean, that's got to be what it's about, surely. Even the C natural here. I was wondering whether it was a key related thing with the D, like D major, if we've gone to the C with the C natural there. There is still a warbly resonance going on there, which is really nice to hear. But what's really interesting as well beyond this is that although you've got that extra sympathetic resonance, it's not being overpowered. Sorry, it's not overpowering the fundamental note. That is still there, and it's still very strong. So it's just in addition to what you've already got, which is this beautiful, articulate, singing, rounded treble sound, then with this kind of choir of extra support that you get from those sympathetic resonance notes. That's a very, very beautiful combination to have on a guitar, and the fact that it's happening up and down every single fret on the guitar here, every single note on these treble strings, means you've always got that as an option. Of course, if you want to kill that off, you would then try and just dampen your strings with your right hand or your left hand, and you're left with the fundamental note without the extra sounds. So it's a very versatile guitar in that respect, and I think that will be appreciated by an awful lot of players. Okay, I just want to take a moment here to talk about something which I think is one of the biggest, strongest features of this guitar, and that is just how easy it is to get a really, really good sound out of the instrument, because it's not a common thing amongst concert guitars. And if you've played some instruments before, you'll know that they like you to be playing them in a very particular kind of way to get the very best sound from them. But with this Roberto Pozzi guitar, that's not the case. It's like it's willing you to make a nice sound. It's there helping you to make a nice sound. It's not trying to sort of punish you for having a subpar technique. So if you've got nails that aren't the best, it doesn't mind. If you play it towards your shoulder, shall we say, it's not so bad compared with what I would call towards my elbow, so playing across the strings here. Toward my shoulder a bit more. There's still the weight behind the note, and with other guitars, what would happen here would be this incredibly nasal, horrible, unusable tone on the guitar. And I don't get that from this guitar. This one is still trying to do something positive. It's still trying to do something musical and valuable, which is an incredible asset, and particularly if you're somebody who doesn't have the world's best technique, if you're not a professional grade player, but you just want a guitar that is going to deliver this superior tone, then this guitar is it. This is the one for you, because it does that so well. And I've got to say, better than any other guitar I can remember. Okay, onto the bass strings then. This is very interesting if this is going to be the case, because all of that sympathetic resonance that you had with the treble strings, that has now disappeared, and you're left with just a very strong, rounded, very deep sounding bass note on this E string. It's very pure. There's not a lot going on. I can just detect that it's a shimmer of something, but there's not a lot going on there in terms of sympathetic resonance. It's very much just delivering this well-defined, rounded, very weighty bass note, which I guess is what bass notes should be at the end of the day. And if we have too much of the sympathetic resonance, then we're going to lose that overall clarity within a piece of music. I'm deliberately trying to keep my fingers away from the strings to see if it will do the extra thing or not. And it's staying very restrained. Very well disciplined guitar. Good job. Just a hint of it coming in there, and I wonder, that's the octave going up. Yeah, we're just starting to get something happening now. About there-ish. Okay, here we go, yeah. Now we're getting that resonance back. But when we think about it, there's my C sharp, is the same C sharp, so of course it's going to be there. So there's a bit of a crossover here. We're going from very clear, very defined with the basses with the A and the E string, and onto the D string where you get that blend into the G, into the trebles. It's starting to kind of blur the lines a little bit, which I think is essential if you're going to be having this feature, because the melody won't necessarily stick with just your treble strings. You may travel on occasions down to the D string, back up onto G, and so on. So you wouldn't get this detachment from trebles to bass. It's a gradual thing, which is ideal. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah, we'll try the two together then. So we're going to try the bass strings and the treble strings. Okay, let me do that again. Wow. That is just so nice. I could sit here all day and just do E major. Glorious. The depth that comes out of this guitar is astonishing. And there you have it. That's the clarity of the basses and the magic of the resonance of the trebles working together. Really nice. And it's so clear on the top. So not only do you get that very chest rumbling bass, that real kind of proper depth of sound, you then get the clarity, almost glass-like clarity on top. It's a very complementary combination. There as well. It's so clear. So good, really, really nice, really, really nice. You've got so much versatility right there. It's not like a one-dimensional sound. There's so much colour and variability there. It's just incredible. There is nothing this guitar won't do nicely. It's delivering everything that I ask it to, which is absolutely remarkable. So sweet. Yeah. So I think for me, this is a guitar which is very special. We've got this, just to recap, we've got these gorgeous treble strings, the rounded, the articulation of those is beautiful. The sympathetic resonance is a very, very special feature. And if you like that kind of thing in a guitar, you will love this instrument. It's very good at that. You're then complementing that with the bass strings, which you've got plenty of definition with the E and the A string. That D string is that kind of go-between, where it's starting to kind of ease up a little bit and give you a little bit more of that sympathetic resonance as you move towards the kind of the higher registers of the guitar. And it blends very nicely with your G. So you've got a lovely transition from bass strings into treble, or vice versa. Okay, before I finish up and play a few pieces of music for you, if you're enjoying this video and you would like to see more videos just like it, then please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. I just wanted to say, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. It's really appreciated, and I hope I will see you again soon.